the next comic normally hosts a show right here on once a month called Bushwhacked. I'm delighted to bring up Tom Sarabok!
Howdy. Okay, guys, I'll be doing a slideshow about the Bob Dylan, Timothy Chalamet movie. Also, right at the start of the song, a random guy walked in. I think he thought this was the bathroom. And he immediately walked out. He looked fucking terrified. Anyways, Sleepwalker, we fucking tonight? Yeah! Ladies, are we fucking tonight? Ladies, are we fucking a guy wearing a class ring? No! Right? It's like, why do you have a ruby on your finger, man? You have a bachelor's degree in creative writing. It's my new character, guy who's asked if people are fucking on a Monday night. Which is cool. My high school actually sold class rings. Who are those for, right? What, are you trying to flex on someone with a GED? Oh, you had to drop out of high school to take care of your sick mom? Fuck you, dude. I work in sales now. Probably, that guy probably works in sales. But yeah, what's up? My name is Tom Sarabok. Thank you all so much for coming. This is really great. I've been told I can be off-putting by my coworkers and most of my family. So I'm going to do some crowd work to inundate myself with you guys. So what does everyone do for work? What does everyone at once do for work? I guess they let anybody do that. Is your job hiring or... Is there any straight men in the audience? Any straight men? You, sir, you're straight? Yeah. Get him! We know what you did this week. But you're straight, really? Oh, really? Because I was actually at the gay porn store this week. I was actually at the gay porn store, and they actually had your picture up on the wall. I'm just kidding, guys. It was a frame that said Ally of the Month. And underneath it said, this guy eats pussy really good. Maybe check that out. I don't know. It's Veterans Day. Any veterans in the audience? No, okay. We failed veterans again as a nation. Jesus Christ. I heard it was Bi Day of Visibility recently, which is pretty cool. I think it's like once a month now, right? Who invented that holiday? The monster that eats bi people? Yeah, bi people are visible to me. I can see their body heat through walls. I think people make fun of bisexual people too much. I'm sorry. I think people do it. I think people make fun of bisexual women a lot for like quote unquote disproportionately dating men, and I think that's unfair because like men are so sexy. and they're good people. And it's a joke because they're bad. The election shows that they're bad. I'm gonna talk about the election a little bit. I saw online that there might be a sex strike after the election. Did you guys see that? No. This guy's been fucking. He didn't know a damn thing. But it's like, do we think the people that voted for Trump were having sex? Like, I feel like that was the problem. His whole base is incels and divorced dads. Like, they talked about the economy being bad. The economy statistically is good, but the fuckonomy is terrible. It's not looking good. And also, I think a sex strike is dumb because, like, oh, who's gonna fuck the 61% of white men that voted for Trump? I don't know. The 53% of white women that also voted for Trump. Probably. Like my friend's 70-year-old dad who's been divorced 3 times and loved Donald Trump fucks more than anyone I've ever met. I saw porn for the first time at his house. He didn't show it to me, it was just on a computer. It was fine. He's a fine man, except for the Trump stuff. That stuff is bad. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for a sex strike because I could use a break. I'm spent. some fucking work done. Once. I wasn't going to do this joke because I thought my coworker was going to be here, but I'll do it now. I'm actually on a self-sex strike. I've only jerked off 4 times since the election. And if you know me, that number is down. It's a lower number. But you guys might be thinking, Tom, you're a little bit insensitive. How can you make jokes about this in such a tragic time? And that's a fair point. But I'll have you know that I actually worked on the election. I volunteered. I texted all my straight male friends in swing states, and I told them not to vote. And it didn't work. It failed. I was texting them like, dude, why are you voting? Let's just get a beer instead. All right? Voting is gay. You're voting for a man to have power over you instead of a woman? But that's what I'm running on in the next 4 years. I hope you guys will step in. But yeah, I actually broke my sex streak this past weekend. I had sex with my girlfriend of 1.5 years. Yeah, that's right. We've had sex. It's cool. Yeah, me and my girlfriend have been dating for over a year now. We had our anniversary over the summer, which was really cool. It's the longest relationship I've ever been in. We celebrated by doing mushrooms together in the park. Because we're kind of different than other rich white people, right? We voted for Bernie last week. We did mushrooms together in the park, and I've never done hallucinogens with a woman before. And I think that men and women experience hallucinogens just a little bit differently. Have you guys heard about this? I think my girlfriend felt very in touch with nature. She was like touching grass and smelling flowers. And then I was over there like, fucking computers are weird. The Matrix is a good movie. We should watch The Matrix after this. I did come to a realization whenever I was on mushrooms. I think I realized that I really don't like my job. And I don't think I've liked any job I've ever had. And I think, a lot of people feel like that, and they'll go to the past is what they'll do. They'll go to the past. They're like, I shouldn't be working in the office. I should be a hunter or a farmer, right? And I feel like that, except I feel like I should have been a scoundrel. I should have been like a guy in a trench coat selling Quaaludes to teenagers named Slippery Pete. Stealing cigarettes from the back of a truck for some reason. I don't know, they were legal. I don't know why they were doing that. I feel like I should have been a corrupt apothecary in medieval times, going from town to town, selling potions that don't work to idiot peasants, and then leaving behind a bastard son with a courtesan who will one day rise up and seek revenge. I shouldn't be fucking working in Microsoft Excel, is what I'm saying. I think I'll go to the past a lot, and I'll think about what I would do in different times in America, and I think something I would definitely be is like in the early 2000s, I feel like I would be in the indie rock scene in New York. Like, I feel like I'd kind of be one of the Strokes, right? Right, guys? We agree? Yeah, but I think that, but then in reality, I definitely would just be contributing to the 2008 financial crisis. I would just be selling collateralized debt obligations to a pension for really, really old people. And I'm kind of doing that now. I'm like, I want to be an alt comedian in Brooklyn, but now I'm just contributing to the 2028 financial crisis. And if you haven't heard about that one yet, you will. It's going to be really fucking bad. But I think the ultimate thing, if I was born in a different generation, I would want to be, I think I could be one of those doctors that treated female hysteria by fingering. Right? I feel like that was my calling. But that's not a job anymore, right? I looked up fingering on LinkedIn, and now I'm just banned from LinkedIn. It sucks. I think about jobs, and think about my dad. Is a guy who's had many jobs over his life. He was a nurse for a long time, and right now he's kind of having fun as a volunteer firefighter, which is cool. What do your fucking dads do, right? I said that one time, and then a guy went up to do comedy immediately after me, and he goes, my dad's a real firefighter. But yeah, it's pretty cool. He was a volunteer firefighter when he was a very young man, and now he's doing it again now that he's going to die soon. Good. My dad's death isn't funny. But I asked him how it was. I was on the phone with him, and he's like, oh, it's awesome. Whenever there's a fire, the chief always sends me in first. And he's like, oh, it's because I'm so experienced. And I was like, I think they don't care if you die. And that's it. They're like, we have young men on this force with kids. Yeah. My dad actually, when he was a volunteer firefighter, was in a very small town in rural Pennsylvania in like the 80s. And it's really cool. One of the people he started with actually became a firefighter in New York City. Which is really cool. I got to meet him in like 2012, and by that point he'd been a firefighter in New York City for about 15 years. And so my dad asks him the question you ask every New York City firefighter, how was 9/11? And he goes, it was bad. And then I just watched a grown man cry over chicken wings. And I was like, I gotta move to this city. I brought that up to my dad recently because I told him I wrote that bit, and I was like, why would you ask him that question? Like, you're a firefighter, you know better. And then he's like, no, son, you asked that question. Like, I think I blacked that part out. I think I didn't want to think about that. That guy's an anti-vaxxer anyways. He can get fucked. No, my dad's a good guy. He's the firefighter. He's a piece of shit. It's okay, guys. It's fine. But yeah, I think I asked that question because I don't think men ask enough questions, right? Yeah, like on dates and stuff, ladies. That's what I've been told. I've never asked. Never asked. But I think it's definitely true because I watch a lot of interview videos on YouTube, and if the interviewer is male, no matter what happens, all the comments will be like, "What a skilled interviewer! What a skilled interviewer!" I think men think a skilled interviewer is anyone who asks any question. Like, I think that's why guys like Joe Rogan so much, because his whole thing is like, that's strange, tell me more. And then he stops talking, and guys are like, how is he doing that? I must take election advice from this man. Like, Sean Evans from Hot Ones is just a random stray white guy who asks questions, and we made him famous, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think men in this country have a lot of problems. I don't think they're good. I've made that clear. I'm a feminist comic. I'm trying to write more feminist jokes to make that clear. I wrote a joke recently. Why do they call it bumping uglies? Only the penis is gross. They should call it bumping ugly against the most important, most beautiful organ ever. That only the owner of that body has the choice over. I'll change gears a little bit. I've been working on a novel recently, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I actually have a manuscript going, and I've shown it to some friends to negative reviews. I showed it to my one friend. She's like, "Oh, Tom, all your female characters are really shallow." It's like, no, me? And she's like, yeah, they're all like manic pixie dream girls or whatever, and if you guys know that trope, it's like a very static, unchanging woman. And I think it's a bad trope because it's sexist, but I also think it's a bad trope because it's incorrect. Because every woman I know is constantly growing and developing and changing and becoming a better person. And every guy I know turns 23 and they're like, I'm done. Like, my girlfriend is an engineer, and then she became a teacher, and now she's trying to fulfill her dream of being an entrepreneur. And the greatest development of my 20s was no longer lying about liking bourbon. And that's more development than almost every man you've ever met. And that's it. I refuse to change. I won't do anything else. But I do want to talk a little bit. I think comedy has a tendency to get the message to get lost in translation pretty easily, and I've talked a lot about men and women tonight, so I want to read something I think is poignant to clarify for the room kind of how I feel. Yeah, thank you very much. The wounded child inside many males is a boy who, when he first spoke his truths, was silenced by a patriarchal world that did not want him to claim his true feelings. The wounded child inside many females is a girl who is taught from early childhood that she must become something other than herself, deny her true feelings in order to attract and please others. When men and women punish each other for truth-telling, we reinforce the notion that lies are better. To be loving, we willingly hear the other's truth, and most important, we affirm the value of truth-telling. Lies may make people feel better, but they do not help them to know love. That's what she said. She, of course, being Bell Hooks. Very much. Bell Hooks also said, non-binary people, I don't even know what to do about them. And that's actually woke because she's pretty gender-centric. You guys have been great. This has been terrific. I've been Tom Sarabok. Thank you.